Hello and welcome again to VW Feasts, and today we're going to make a quiche. Yes, that's right, summer is here. It's time to have that beautiful quiche in your life. So, ingredients, first of all, the elements of the pastry, and we're not using shop-bought pastry for a change. We're going to make our own. How difficult could it be? Then the filling, the cheese, the eggs. What passes for bacon here? Some cream and an onion. And there is the equipment. So, first of all, we're going to make the pastry, and therefore we take our flour and we combine it with a bit of salt and some butter. And then stick on the mixer and turn it on. This first stage, what you're aiming to get to is a sort of crumb-like texture, and what VW will do is stop the mixer for a moment and just show you what that looks like. As you can see, crumbs. Once you get to that stage, you're ready to add the water, and this change is nigh on miraculous. As the water goes in, the whole mixture starts to combine and come together. Just watch. And there you are. That's how you make pastry. VW was quite shocked actually how easy it can be, and the results are brilliant. We might not buy shop-bought shortcrust pastry again. So, remove the pastry from the machine. Now what we're going to do is, if you work with pastry, one of the tips that we keep hearing is keep it as cold as you can, as much of the time as you can. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some cling film, wrap it, and leave it in the fridge. Wonderful invention, having the tearing strips on the box. Just tear off the cling film there. In case you didn't know how to wrap pastry in cling film, here you go. Right, now once that's nicely chilled, it's actually easier to work with. So first of all, a bit of flour out, and then we're going to roll out the pastry. Now obviously we want it big enough to be able to go into our pastry, into our quiche tin, but what we also want to do is make sure it's thin enough, and it's the right level of thickness, because if you have it too thin, well then it's going to break and fall apart, but if it's too thick, then it overpowers the filling. You want to get that beautiful point where it's just right. So we'll trim off the excess and we'll use that to make something else. But back in the fridge. Just prick the base with a fork, and then what we're going to do is the first part, which is the blind baking. So a little bit of greaseproof paper, and in go our fabulous ceramic baking beans. And these just keep everything in place. So into the oven, just for the first bake. This gives you a nice crisp base rather than it going soggy. And it's a proper chefy technique. So we'll put that onto one side and allow it to cool down again. In the meantime, we'll work on the filling. So, using our bacon substitute, I think that's the kindest way of describing this that we can get in shops here in Berlin. What we're going to do is just fry it off a little bit, just give it a bit more of that crispiness, and crucially just to render off a little bit of that fat. This is fairly lean, so there's not a lot of it, but we'll be using that and combining it with the onions, gives them an extra flavour. So we've got to the stage that we're happy with. This gives you slightly crispier bits of bacon in the quiche. And just put that off to drain down. We don't really want too much fat in the quiche, but we want some of that bacon flavour for the onions. So you can see we've still got some flavour in the pan. We're just going to add a little bit more oil, and then in go our chopped onions. Here again, we're just trying to soften them, turn them a little bit yellow and see-through, and again then they'll taste nicer in the quiche. Once again, don't want to overcook them. If they go brown, it'll just change the flavour completely. Got those to the level we want. Wonderful. And we'll put those aside as well. And what we're trying to do is make sure these ingredients are cool, because we're going to make the filling and we don't want any of those elements to be hot, otherwise they'll start to cook the eggs immediately and you'll basically end up with claggy scrambled eggs. So you want to make the filling, then cook it, not have it cooking as we're making it. In go those all important eggs. And then we're just going to give them a whisk just to break them down and mix the yolks and the whites. Of course, quiche is lovely hot, lovely cold. It's just lovely. You have more quiche in your life. So now we've broken down the eggs a little bit, we're going to add in the cream. Now here what we're trying to do is get very smooth base mixture. So full combination of the eggs and the cream, get some air in there, and this beautiful light basic mixture. A little bit of pepper, and now be careful with the salt. You've got salt in the bacon, so you don't want to over salt this. Bit of trial and error. You can always add salt again afterwards, but you try not to add too much salt. In go the onions. Just mix them through there, being a little bit lazy with the whisk. We're not trying to break them down, we're just trying to mix them through the mixture. And the same with the bacon. As you see, the VW realizes we don't want to start breaking things apart, so just stirring them through really is what we're looking to do. Here you're not trying to get them completely smooth, you want them to be individual taste elements within the filling. There you go. Yummy. So now our pastry is cold. We can take the beans out, put them back in a jar and use them another day. See, we have a lovely biscuity almost base there. VW showing it is cold now. To this we add the mixture. Yeah, don't miss any. And then the final bake, and you're left with this beautiful quiche. If you listen in the background, you'll hear the birds and the other Berlin sounds. Yes, the gentle hum of the lesser spotted ambulance. So here we have beautiful bacon, onion and cheese quiche. Enjoy.